We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Never had him on the show. Kevin Trudeau coming up in about 27 minutes from now. Best-selling author, king of the infomercials. Turned out he's a fan of the show, PrisonPlanet.tv member. Months ago, tried to get in touch with me through Mancow, Mueller, and then I was so busy, never got in touch with him. But we did, and that should be interesting to talk about a host of issues with Kevin Trudeau coming up in T-minus 26 minutes. Very, very excited. Because I like a lot of what he does. That's why the media and the government demonize him. How dare him sell a book saying aloe vera is good for burns or that cranberries are good for your kidneys. I mean, I read his super bestseller, sold millions of copies, Herbal Remedies. And, I mean, it's mainlined, the stuff that's, garlic's good for your heart, your immune system. I mean, give me a break, folks. That is coming up with Kevin Trudeau. And we got Judith McGeary coming on here with us in just a moment. Before I do that, I want to encourage everybody, if you want to know what the national identification, animal identification is about and what the cashless society is about and what all the land grabbing is about, what the phony environmental carbon taxes are about and who the New World Order are, this is the film, Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Also, the film, The Obama Deception gets into all of that. Very, very important information. Be sure to get the Obama Deception and Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement at Infowars.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Again, that number is 888-253-3139. Not only do you get films that you're authorized to make copies of for nonprofit educational purposes, you fund our operation that is very, very expensive for us to run. And I spend most of my time just trying to raise the capital to pay for all the bandwidth. Also, we've launched 12 new T-shirts with Patriot messages. In fact, punch that up from PrisonPlanet.tv for folks. People keep asking, how do I network? You wear a Live Free or Die Minuteman shirt, you're going to meet like-minded people walking down the street or at church. You wear a Minuteman Culpeper shirt, you're going to meet like-minded people. You wear a Obama Bush shirt that says worst president ever until now with split views of both presidents' heads, that will wake up the left and the right, because both the left and the right are going to hate somebody on your shirt. The left's going to hate Bush, the right's going to hate Obama, and you can explain to them they're being played. It says on the back of the shirt, don't be a sucker. Got the very best seller, the Come and Take It flag, dealing with the Second Amendment. So again, Infowars.com to order the T-shirts. Go to the secure online Yahoo shopping cart or call toll-free to get any of those T-shirts, books, or videos, 888-253-3139. Need to wear your colors, folks. Need to let folks see your colors. And if Homeland Security doesn't like Minutemen, doesn't like Founding Fathers, doesn't like Culpeper flags that half the military uses, that's just their problem. We're going to go to our guest here in just one moment. One more sponsor I wanted to tell all of the listeners about is HomeGain. HomeGain.com. Check them out and see what I'm talking about. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get a free estimate of your home's value. They've got a whole bunch of great free features. They've got my favorite, the Home Sale Maximizer, to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. Check out Mac's Little Orange Gorilla on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, and that links through to HomeGain.com, HomeGain.com. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Judith McGeary, Farm and Ranch Freedom Alliance, and we really do appreciate her joining us. And, for folks that don't know who this organization is or don't care about farms and ranches, listen up. This affects everybody. This is the corporate control grid that is taking place. Judith, tell us about the organization and your position there for folks that may not know about that.
Thanks so much for having me on, Alex. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Our organization was founded about 3.5 years ago when I left my legal practice and got together with a group of other farmers and ranchers to create it. And the idea is that we need a food supply that is provided by small independent farmers scattered all over this country rather than this huge corporate monopoly that we're rapidly heading towards for our food, which is a basic necessity of life for everybody.
Well, we have the United Nations Population Fund meeting back in 1996 in Beijing, China, and they said, we will use food as a weapon. And they said, we're going to take control of the world's heirloom seeds, their food supplies. We're going to have pharmacological crops that make you take the vaccines every time you eat. People don't know they can engineer that into the crops to grow whatever mind-altering chemical or vaccine they want. They're trying to force the world to take on GMO. They're trying to make a chicken farmer put a $20 tag on a $5 chicken, but then Tyson and others are exempt. They have group tags for every couple hundred chickens. They want you to waive your rights, for those that don't know, with the premises ID. And this is all color of law. I've also read they're buying off the farm and ranch groups, giving them millions of dollars, even to local chapters, to then intimidate their members into doing it. They're arresting as publicity stunts all over the country. At the county fair, you'll have the champion pig or horse or goat or steer. And they do this on purpose, I've read, where they'll always do it to the person they pick as the winner. Then they'll say, oh, sorry, on stage, you don't get the blue ribbon now. Then they have the police take you off grounds saying you hadn't registered your premises. It's not law, but it's the policy. So they're creating a giant hoax that it's illegal and you've got to do this, just like there's a hoax you've got to take vaccines. Judith, you're the expert on this. Break it down for us.
Well, the sad thing is, actually, it takes a lot less than that to intimidate most people. The sad truth is they're giving a few 100,000 out, and they're kicking people out before they ever get to the stage. And people are far too quick to fall in line, is the sad reality. What they're talking about is that anyone who owns even one livestock or poultry animal, and this includes anybody out there who wants to raise their own food, who's been looking into the idea of having an independent food source, either that they raise or that they get from their neighbors, has to register with the government, tag each animal, in most cases using the RFIDs or the microchips, and then report their movements to the government within 24 hours. So you're talking about something that would put, someone raising food under more government surveillance than a sex offender.
And they admit, I should add, it started in Australia, as you know. They're now using the Homeland Security, NSA military satellites dialed into the land management people. So folks who live in Utah and other places, or Colorado, where you get harassed by the bureaucrats on your private property, that's now coming to Texas, Kansas, Michigan, Florida. It doesn't matter. And we're not joking. They're forming SWAT teams in all these federal and state groups. They're pulling guns on people at their own ponds, fishing. They're arresting Amish people, arresting people selling eggs on street corners. They've introduced bills to restrict organic farming. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, they're talking about making you get a license to have a home garden. That was in the Tulsa News. I mean, you cannot paint a strong enough picture of how evil and insidious all of this is. I hope the listeners understand this is coming down like a ton of bricks right now.
It's gaining speed fast. I mean, these are plans that they've been working on for literally decades. It's not new. It's not because of mad cow disease or avian flu or swine flu. Depending on who you talk to, they come up with a new reason. These plans have been around for decades, but they're really gathering steam now, and there are a lot of folks in Congress who are bound and determined to shove this down our throats. And they're working very hard to create this image of panic, which is if we don't have this, people will be dying. At a recent congressional hearing, one of the chairmen of the subcommittees was literally saying that, if we can't track this better, people will be dying when this food hits their
But then
plate.
The foreign food is exempt. The foreign food is exempt. So if people think we've already seen an exodus of U.S.-produced food, we've gone from producing 98% of our food to, half of it now, and it's going down. And in fact, I should add, and I'm rude, Judith McGeary is executive director of the Farm and Ranch Freedom Alliance, is an attorney and small farmer, a BS in biology from Stanford University, and a JD from University of Texas at Austin. And after a clerkship with the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, she practices as an attorney doing a combination of administrative law, litigation, and appeals. So I should add, you're an expert on all this as well.
Well, the thing is, the real expertise comes from handling animals. The real expertise comes from the day-to-day, knowing what it takes to raise food, knowing what it takes to keep animals healthy. And what's amazing to me about this program and about the mentality and the mindset of the people pushing it is this attitude that somehow folks who are locked in an office who wouldn't know one end of the cow from the other somehow can come up with a technological answer that solves everything and takes care of animal health, while the farmers and ranchers obviously don't know anything, according to these guys.
Well, let me just throw a point out here, and then I want to give you the floor and have you break down how far along this is, how we fight it, how we, go up against it. we have a large piece of property we got in 1829 as a Mexican land grant in East Texas. And I don't even really deer hunt anymore because I don't have the time, don't want to have to dress it, deal with it. But every time